Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
What's up, heels and baby faces? If you're awake after night one of WrestleMania, it is a special bonus episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me tonight is Mike.
What's up, guys? It's Big Mike, and the train tracks. It's too late, man. It's 2023. Something that rhymes with 3. Let's go.
And the host and founding father and fearless leader of the entire Countdown City Geeks Network, we got Ted, a.k.a. Steady, joining us here. Alrighty then.
That's my Shawn Michaels, what's it called, impression from his entrance with The Undertaker like years ago. There you
Mania
go.
25.
Oh, I think I have those action figures somewhere from that. Those special
Hey,
editions.
there you go.
Pretty cool. Yeah, those were pretty rare. I was
Nice.
like,
Tommy's here in spirit, and
Tommy's here, yes. Tommy would be joining us, but he didn't get to watch.
I know, bro. You're not here, and it throws off my whole game, man.
You know, it's been an exhausting day of wrestling. Starting with Stand and Deliver at noon today, and then night one of WrestleMania, which the pre-show, by the way, started at 5. Jesus. So, now, granted, I didn't watch the pre-show. I probably caught like the last hour of it because I was like,
I do what I always do. I turn it on and then continue on with my life. So.
yeah, I was grilling and watching back and forth between the San Diego State and the FAU basketball game, which, God, what a finish! San Diego State wins on a buzzer beater, and is going to face UConn on Monday night.
You know, not to get off topic, but those script writers for the NCAA really need to stop writing so many buzzer beaters. It's actually unbelievable when like half the game's in on a buzzer beater. Come on, man.
I mean,
Get some better book in there.
So we're jumping on here this evening to share those first thoughts we have on Stand and Deliver and on night one of WrestleMania. Both, for lack of a better term, delivered. Really, really amazing shows. NXT, this was kind of their spotlight. They basically had the matinee of WrestleMania weekend. And I know, Ted, you didn't get to see NXT. Mike, we got to watch it. I'll say my kids got to watch it. My wife, my beautiful wife, Tina, got to watch Stand and Deliver. Not so much WrestleMania because she is at the AT&T Center at the Monarch concert right now. And I don't blame her because that band may not be touring for very much longer. So
lucky.
Yeah. She wanted tickets, bought her tickets. Her niece drove up, and they went to the concert together. So they're having a good old time. So, yeah. But Stand and Deliver, Mike, let's talk a little bit about it. I first want to discuss, obviously, what they opened with the show, which I'm glad they did. The NXT Women's Championship ladder match. And, my God, what an amazing show. What an amazing match itself. And
So you didn't have to leave just because you didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's fine, but I guess he'll do the back end stuff. That's fine.
It's fair. I'm here.
Okay. Anyway, it makes it easier. He can do all the producing stuff. Now, yes, David, we'll talk about that in just a second. But obviously I want to stay with Stand and Deliver, that ladder match. We talked about it on our show Thursday. Mike, I want to say you got that right. I haven't counted up the pick results from that as well.
I definitely went with Indy Hartwell.
Yeah.
I thought it was a crap or get off the toilet moment for her in NXT, and you know me, that was the perfect way.
Yes.
To end it. And then on top of that, Roxy doesn't lose the belt per se, doesn't get pinned for it, doesn't submit for it. But just amazing action all across that match itself. Even though I was bitter at her at the Rumble, Zoe Stark, very impressive. Tiffany Stratton, I think they see big things in. Yeah, so just all the way impressive, but definitely glad that Indy got that Index reunited again. And that was a really cool way to kind of finish it off where he helps her up And of course, there was always that little weirdness about them. So even him like sneaking in under her legs to look up and give her the thumbs up, just a little bit of weirdness in that. And
Wouldn't have it other way. The greatest wrestling love story of our generation, right? As you would always say. So, uh,
it is.
yeah. Tina, my wife, my kids were all into it. Adi loved it. She was enjoying it, really cheering for Roxy, but she was all into every spot, every moment. Um, the cool thing is when they showed, after Indy claims the championship, they cut to the wrestlers lying on the ground, and you can see Roxanne smiling. She's genuinely happy
Yeah,
for her.
that clip started
And
going around later in the day, and that was really cool.
yeah, and I do you feel like with the ending of it, uh, this is it for Roxanne Perez's time in NXT.
I don't know. I know you want her to go to main roster,
Mhm.
but she's still real young. I don't know if it's just automatically it. Um, it was a weird storyline. Like again, we don't know what was wrong with her. If there
Right.
was something wrong, if it was a storyline. But I think it seems like they may have something to do with her about dealing with the anxiety and the mental illness, but the mental health aspects of things. So I don't know. I'm not ready to jump on that so quickly because she's young, and also because I wouldn't put it past them leaving her in another year or so and giving her a second reign, maybe one where she pins the champ for it, and
Right.
not the vacated situation. So I think you still got time with her. I don't think she necessarily needs to be up there right now.
All right. Tommy, Index has made a believer out of me. Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, and it was not the last time we saw Index that night. Of
Nope.
course, after the unsanctioned match with Gargano and Waller, which to me honestly stole the show. It really
Yeah.
did. And I fully expected it to, and it delivered. To see them celebrating afterward, but Gargano, man, just doesn't matter what match he's in, where he is on the card, he steps up. And I was excited for
The
that.
match was amazing.
Yeah.
I would almost get it a 4.99 for one little thing. Why can they not give him back the original version of Rebel Heart? I do not understand this new, not as cool version
Yeah.
I don't did they lose the right to it, or did that get made by the last group that made all their music? Like what was that about, man? It's
I don't know.
just not quite the same.
Yeah. Any other matches stand out to you from Stand and Deliver? Before we get into
Um,
the actual main event
I
itself,
mean,
anything else?
again, like they were just all solid. That
Mhm.
North American five-way was insane. With Dragon Lee and Axiom just pulling off high spot moves, and Madonna and Wesley, and who's the one I'm leaving out of it, but all of them hitting wrestling moves. Like it was insane. There was at least 7, 8 different times where I thought one of the other guys was going to pull out the win. Um, I think it was Axiom hit. Was it Wesley? Someone was doing like a moonsault, but like off the ropes, I guess a springboard, and he
Right.
hit like the kick to his face, and um, Tommy. Yeah, exactly. Tommy, I knew Tommy would agree with me on that one.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that was impressive, and even the tag team match, um, that was a fun thing. Like the Creed brothers are just really impressive. They got that size and suplex stuff going on.
Mhm.
Gallus is always fun in a fight. Um, so yeah, I mean, like it's another. I feel like in certain ways they're kind of getting back to the old NXT in the sense that like there was no bad match on the card.
Right.
Like every match they had was a good, solid match, and like was very entertaining. Even the women's tag team match, they continued that storyline they've got going on with Henley and Fallon and Brooks Jensen and like all this stuff going on with there, and then you know, interesting to switch the tag titles because I think they even said that was their first defense because they
Yeah.
had just won them. So um, I think with their stuff going on, I think Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are a little more consistent, and I kind of assume they'll have a little bit of a longer run with them as heels, even though I think the crowd kind of likes them. So
You kind of get that from the entrances too, really, where they're going to
yeah.
step up with that gimmick.
Mhm.
Um, Now, the main event, the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes finally knocks off Braun Breaker. Breaker afterwards, of course, actually hands him the championship in a seemingly passing of the torch moment. Literally, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because he'll hand out and everything. So,
And I just found it kind of interesting because Trick Williams did cheat.
hmm
Like, they got the visual tap when the ref was knocked out, then he got hit with the belt. So I get the moment, but it felt kind of odd for Breaker to not be mad about that and be like, oh, well, I guess I got that. Braun Breaker, by the way, he's always been a breaker. He's not going to go by any other name. He is a breaker from now on.
Yeah, we're not going to mention what it was. Obviously, it's related to his biological father, but there's some little bit of controversy that has come out. And no, this is not an April Fool's joke, people. So I kind of wish it was.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh God, what a steady sharing. Yeah.
JC, I was wondering if you caught this or not.
I did catch it when NXT opened. Yes, that is Mark Long, Challenge legend from the MTV The Challenge. He was their Challenge All Stars. He was also at WrestleMania, so he hightailed it from the Crypto.com arena right after NXT Stand and Deliver. And he had pictures. He's there with the Challenge Mania podcast. So yeah, as soon as it opened, I saw the shot. I was like, "Hey, that's Mark Long." T and I instantly recognized him.
Do not disrespect Mark Long. 6 challenges,
guys,
2
can y'all
wins.
take me off like steady and let him talk about this one tonight? I've got no clue what y'all are talking about. I mean, I know what it's about, but
Yes, yeah.
Mike, don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. 6 challenges, 2 wins, 2 finals, 1 All-Star final. That is the legendary Mark Long.
Legendary, but not the greatest challenger of all time, and I will stand by that. That's another debate. So, all right.
Yeah, it's obvious, but yeah.
Yes.
Okay, back to wrestling. Cool.
Yeah. All right, so with Stand Deliver, I think we're pretty well set. We'll talk a bit more in depth about that on our usual Thursday show once Tommy's able to join us and share his thoughts as well. For now, though, let's get into our first thoughts on WrestleMania Night 1 at the SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Tail of the tape, yeah, that opened the show. We did have a few thoughts already come in. Legacy of Nerd saying his favorite match was definitely Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. That was pretty good.
Fair.
Fair, yeah. Let's see, Damon Dominguez. What a part 1 that was. Looking forward to tomorrow night for part 2. It would be hard pressed for part 2 to follow night 1, especially when night 2 has Brock Lesnar versus Osmosis on the card.
So you're calling that to steal the show, I can see.
No, I'm not. I really feel like, God, I think Pat McAfee versus The Miz impromptu is going to be better than Lesnar versus Omos at this point. So, yeah. So.
When Omos hits that 6:30 off the top, you're going to be clip this, Eddie. We're going to come back to this next week on the WrestleCast when Omos is hitting Phoenix splashes onto Brock.
Right. Okay. Right. Anyway, WrestleMania 39 Night 1. Yes, it did open with Cena versus Austin Theory. I never thought I would say this so soon, but man, Cena really is looking old. With the thinning out hair, the bald spot there, and it's nothing against. Yeah, he's still athletic, still can call a match, and at times, yeah, you can hear him calling the spots
literally
on TV. Literally calls like, "Oh my God, John, not so loud! Like we can hear you on TV." Like sleeper. Oh, gee, I know what's coming. Off the ropes into the sleeper, and it was.
Well, I think we'll do 2 separate nights.
Yeah.
2 separate scores.
Yeah. We may end up getting 2 separate scores. I don't know. We'll see. We may just do one, but yeah, that's maybe do an average or something like that of each night, I guess. So. But it did open the show. Mike, your thoughts on this? This is the choice to open the show. I'm pretty sure it was just because it was Cena.
I know it's because it's Cena, and he's the big draw, and and he did Cena stuff out the bat. He had all his Make-A-Wish kids out there.
Yeah.
So you can't boo him. But no, I think it was time. It was the right call. Cena's not going to be wrestling a lot more. It might have been his last WrestleMania match. Who knows? but yeah, like Austin, Theory's the young kid you're trying to build up. He did get kind of obliterated in the promos in the previous couple of weeks, so I think it was the right call. And of course, he's a heel, so he cheats to win. But still, there was no reason for Cena to win that match, and it went out the right way. So just make sure he's safe to go finish Peacemaker season 2.
Please.
Although I did see a lot of
he can
people
still
say,
dance. Yes.
I was gonna say he should have done the entrance.
Oh please!
Oh my God, that would have been
would have
amazing.
saved that. If
forget the Make a Wish kiss.
No, yeah, maybe next year in Philly, do the whole entire Peacemaker entrance theme with the entire cast. That would be great. So
that'd be awesome.
yeah, Steady, your thoughts on the opening of the show.
Set the right tones, the right energy, was entertaining enough. It got the ball rolling well. So outcome was kind of what you guys expected and what I think a lot of people expected. Dare I say, overall, maybe the most predictable WrestleMania, but for like all the right reasons. All the choices made sense. So I'll already say that this was a very entertaining night one.
Yeah, for sure, night one, and I understand you say predictable, but there are a couple matches we said on the show. You're at the goal line, you're at the finish line. Don't do anything stupid. Just push it over, Mike. And we've said that. This goes back to the Hangman Page winning the AEW Championship kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
you built the story up, and hopefully.
I'll say this: they did that for the right ones, not all of them.
Yeah. Men's WrestleMania showcase. We said this was at first we thought, okay, this is get everybody on the show, but it was impressive. The team stepped up for sure. So
look,
yeah.
I mean, they gave him a chance on WrestleMania, and I think one thing that, and again, maybe this is just our bias against Vince McMahon, but it feels like in this era they're just allowed to go out there and do their matches and do their stuff, because that four-way had no right to be as ridiculous as it was. And but then again, you had Ricochet, you had Montez, you had Strowman, so you had people to do high fly spots, you had people to do strength spots, you had Chad Gable doing Chaos Theory on Braun Strowman, the deadlift German suplex on him.
Jesus.
The finish, what I loved, where not Ford but
Dawkins.
Oh.
Just linebacker took Strowman out when he was doing his usual train around the ring spot. Like, that was awesome. And then the way they finished off Ricochet with that, where they hit him with the move and then held him down when he pulled his knees up. Like, that was just like, it was a fun match and had way more entertaining than it had any right to be.
Ted, I got to ask you about the next match because your son is a big fan of KSI. Apparently watches YouTube channel. I want to know what Aiden's first thoughts were when he saw him show up. Or
So
revealed this
I was not with him when he watched it, but I know he watched it and he told me what his reaction was, and it's exactly what I expected. KSI is a massive social media influencer, content creator, whatever have you. And me being my age, I don't understand why, but I can clearly see when someone is doing something that works well. So he is a massive content creator, and just that whole sequence that he got involved with was hysterical. Like, I was having a lot of fun, and I really don't watch KSI, but yeah, no, I all of these matches highly entertaining, pulling at all the stops. The showcase match, I don't know if I turned away for a little bit during this, but I felt like it was maybe 4 or 5 minutes too short. Like, it could have gone on a little longer. What we got was fantastic. I don't know if maybe I just got distracted and turned back, but you guys felt like it was maybe too short.
No, I mean, maybe you did, because I felt like for what it was, because there weren't any stakes to it necessarily, although I think they talked about
Right.
maybe getting, I don't know if it was officially a tag team title shot or they just said, surely they'll be in line for winning this.
Right. Maybe some decision they'll make like next day. Or, well, you guys want, you get the first shot at Owens and Zayn.
Although you would think it would be heels, but I don't know.
Yeah.
but yeah, like I don't know. For me, for what it was, I think it was perfect, and they hit a bunch of spots and made it fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rollins Paul, the KSI took a great spot there. The selfie thing, this personality, just got dragged right in the spot on the table because that's a hard setup, especially when you don't have experience to it, and to get shut up to where he and they executed that perfectly. And
yeah, and I think a lot of that's on Rollins. I mean, that guy is a
mm-hmm.
ring general. We talk about Cody trusted him to keep him safe when he busted his arm, and
Mm-hmm.
they did the Hell in the Cell, and I think and I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff that came up over all the interviews this week with him and even Becky talking about maybe he deserved to be in that main event storyline because he really has been like Rollins really has been the workhorse of WWE for the
Mm-hmm.
last years, like going on now, and
Yeah.
I as good as he is now that he's just gotten into this like outlandish character where his gear and ring entrance attire is just more outland. Like he was a red carpet today. Like you literally just like the fluffy red jacket and train and
When you took that off, and it was like Brutus the Barber Beefcake pink
Jeff
straps up.
Jarrett. Yeah,
Yes,
like
yeah, yeah. So,
and then he's just like one of the best in the ring. Like
mhm.
it's crazy. I mean, again, like Logan Paul is really good, and every time he has a match, he's real incredible at what he does. But yeah, I mean, Rollins is just on another level right now, and it was a good match. It was real entertaining, and I'm glad Rollins won. I didn't want to see Logan Paul win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did. So,
No,
No,
and
no,
again,
and he played it up in LA too, for sure. So,
yeah,
yeah.
great match and great ending. Also, channeling Shawn Michaels with that entrance, right? And I was, I
kind
was,
of,
I was thinking I
Kind
yeah.
was
of.
listening on my phone, and my daughter was asleep, so like I couldn't hear the music that well. But for like a split second, I'm like, is that Shawn Michaels intro music? Like it was
No,
No.
very close for a second, but again, I had it on like super low
yeah,
volume.
they weren't playing his music, but also Sean wasn't like insulting the crowd the whole way down the zip line,
Yeah.
and he actually zip line like Logan didn't really zip line, like it was. I
Yeah,
felt like it was just
it
kind
was
of
a safe zip line. It was like a swing
yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. So
it's
yeah,
like he was
Let's not
lowered.
give
yeah.
let's not give anybody a microphone though while they're like on the way to the ring. That's just really awkward. It really sticks out when somebody does it for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, the 6-woman tag team match, Trish, Lita, and Becky Lynch against Damage Control. I know you were pretty invested in this one, but your thoughts on the result of it? And
On the result
Becky
of it, I don't
pinning
like.
Bailey. Yeah. So.
I don't like the results of it. Again,
Mhm.
it's the same trouble I had when Cesaro was in WWE. Is he so damn good at selling, or now Bailey is so damn good at selling and putting people over, but she keeps taking losses,
Mhm.
and Damage Control keeps taking losses. And I saw a bunch of tweets and I retweeted them. People are like, if they're just going to keep losing all the time, what's the point of the group? And look, you know me, like I said on the WrestleCast, I love Lita. She's my number one of all time. Trish is good too. I love Becky. Like Becky is an awesome, but Becky, Lita, Bailey, and Trish are Hall of Famers. Dakota Kai and Io Sky are really good, but they need the rub off of this, and they need to be made to look strong, so more people see them as being on the same level as Bailey and Becky and Trish and Lita. And I know like us type of wrestling fans know how good they are and they know what Io Sky can do and they know what Dakota Kai has done. But the 80,000 in SoFi Stadium, I don't know how many of them are like that with us. So
Mhm.
it just seemed like this would have been a perfect place to help put them over. And I assume Lita's going to stay around for a while because she has a title.
Right.
And I don't know about Trish, but I hope eventually this leads to either a backlash or maybe even night two, something pops up impromptu again, but it just seemed like not the best way, especially with the happy endings we got out of some of the other matches. This seemed like that would have been a good time because I know they're technically the heels, but it seemed like it would have been a good time for them to get the win back and get something out of it.
It was mostly a night for the faces. I think there's only 2 heels that went over for the whole night too.
Ooh, what does that mean for night 2 in the main event?
That's jeez, don't just get it over the goddamn goal line. Ted, your thoughts on that 6-woman tag match?
All respect to Mike. I understand what you're saying, and it would have been a great opportunity for them. I just don't think you put Trish and Lita in a match together and you bring them back to lose. So it just felt like, to me, it was just something for the fans. Give them the spotlight, yada yada. Lita
Casey, take him
wasn't.
back up screen again.
I think Lita was the only probably talent tonight that seemed a little awkward at times, kind of a little stiff most of the match.
Yeah.
She really came out of her. I mean, she really kind of looked like she was in great form at the end of it, but just a lot of awkward movements and a lot of unnatural sort of.
I think with the move with the wrestling she was used to seeing out of her, just naturally getting older, it's not as easy to do that. And like they tried to do the whisper in the wind with Trish, and she just couldn't get any air on it. Like she basically just stepped off of Trish and kind of like fell into the corner, and it does kind of suck to see that. Another reason why it sucks to. No,
But props to Trish. Like seriously,
props to Bailey for doing the Hardy taunt at Lita too at one point in the match, the whole Jeff Hardy thing, which was.
And
great.
then she did that at her, and then she did the Trish point. But I don't know if you saw the second time she went, "Get out of here!" And
now, up until the main event, the next match, I think the entire stadium was invested in Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. And really, this boils down to the crowd cheering for Rey. Is like, you're in Southern California, big Latino presence. You don't disrespect your parents. And I think that really resonated in this storyline. You probably had a lot of people from San Diego that drove up for this one, too. Mike, go ahead.
Those entrances
were
amazing for different reasons.
Yes.
The entire Dom, like, coming in from prison, and then coming out with the Mysterio mask on.
Yeah.
Looking very much like Ray Eddie in '98. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a split second, I was like, "Is this Ray like spoofing Dom?" For a split second, I thought he was like pulling one on him because it really looked like him. Tommy. Yeah. Apparently, too many of us who grew up in the '80s were like, "Dom dessert." You know what we would have got if we would have done that? Kind of whooped that.
The best part about that whole thing, the package leading into that storyline, obviously with my kids being in sports, it's hard for them to keep up with Raw and SmackDown, the whole storyline. So they had the whole pre-match package that explains everything that happened. My kids are watching it, and the moment that Ray smacked Dom for disrespecting his mom on was it SmackDown a couple weeks ago or something?
Yeah.
And the kids looked at me and I was like, "That's what happens when you talk back." Like, so they're at that age where they do that. So it's like, yeah, okay, we ain't lying, So hopefully, please, if this gets them to stop talking back to so much Ray, appreciate you guys. Thank you, WWE, for that.
The flip side of that, I retweeted something from Cultaholic, and they were like, Rey Mysterio celebrating beating his oldest son in front of 80,000 people. How disgusting.
First of all, it's completely acceptable in a Latino-based city. I'm just going to throw that out there. I know, you guys are British-born. If you're here Latinos, hey, 80,000 people watch you get your ass whipped for disrespecting your parents, and no one will bat an eye about it.
That's why they don't like America.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tommy, how are you doing today?
That is dark.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's not share that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, too late. We already just displayed that one, right? But this was great. Ray's attire The Flash. I know Ted, you enjoyed that. I don't know if Aiden got. He's a huge fan of the Flash. Did he get to
He probably
catch
missed
that?
that. I think he
Oh,
watched
okay.
Paul and KSI and was like, "I'm good.
I'm out.
I'm good." No, the Flash wardrobe was great.
Yeah.
No, this whole match was entertaining as hell. I was actually like having some PTSD when Dominic was getting hit with the belt. I started having flashbacks myself. Started like convulsing a little bit because
Me
yeah,
too.
yep. That's all happened. That's all happened to all of us. So
You know what?
And
Let's just throw it out there. Yeah. That yes. The
I
LWO is back.
love that they
Yes.
did that.
Mhm.
absolutely,
And I love that they turned Legado del Fantasma face by helping Ray. I think that's going to be big for them because Santos, he's another one who has a lot of potential to be. I know they've been trying to find the next Rey Mysterio for the last like 15 years, and Ray just keeps coming back. But Santos is legit. So I like that they're pulling him along with this.
For sure. Quick question for you guys. What was the worst punishment you got as a kid if you got in trouble?
oh dear God, can we say that out loud?
I don't know. Statute of limitations is probably up at our age, but I got the belt as a kid, you know. So I had flashbacks. I don't know
Yeah,
what you gonna say.
I'll just say that as well. We didn't have much to lose. We didn't have like a cell phone to like give up or like
I had
anything
my
else.
Super
So
Nintendo, so I got in line. Trust me, you know. So yeah, or my computer time kind of thing. So
there you go.
Mike.
Yeah, I'll just stick with you guys on that one.
We're not allowed to say.
Yeah, that's right. So,
For what it's worth, though,
Borderline
yeah,
abuse.
my older sister
Yeah.
tested my parents a lot more than I did. So
Mm.
that's surprising given that I know your older sister. I really thought it would have been a younger one.
oh
so.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
you don't know what it was like growing up. I was a lot of time because I'm 2 years younger. Like, just stop making them mad and stop yelling. No, I wasn't causing trouble.
All
I
right.
was like, stop,
Tommy,
Uh,
jeez.
Yeah.
Tommy, share less.
Well,
I thought Tommy didn't drink. Did he get drunk at this?
I
this
don't
one feature?
know. I think maybe the PTSD's really hit him. If he's not on the show this week, he might be in therapy. So you
Yeah,
just
no
if you
kidding.
need that, we're here for you, bro. Now like I said, the crowd was all into this one, and I think they were into this one more than Rhea versus Charlotte. Ripley going over, winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. A match where they really had to bring the crowd back down and get them back up. Classic, Eddie Guerrero style. Eddie Guerrero once had to do that too in WrestleMania, get people down and bring them back up. But this was one of those just cross the finish line matches, and WWE did a great work with it. Everyone got their stuff in. Everyone made it. They really kind of sold everything about it, and I like that Rhea really did this on her own. With the fact that the Judgment Day got involved in the previous match, kind of took them out of the equation with this one. So Rhea being able to get this done on her own was
And
important.
it's funny because all during the push they were again trying to go back to Charlotte a face, Rhea a heel, and it worked a little bit because Dom kept getting interjected into the promos and stuff with each other, and everybody loves to boo Dom. So that kind of leaked over onto Rhea. But when it was one-on-one, I mean, not that Charlotte wasn't getting cheered, but that crowd was behind Rhea.
Oh yeah, they wanted to see that for
Majority
sure.
of that, and that was a hell of a match. And like I tweeted something along the lines of like, while I agree that the tag team story match should be the main event given the story and what's going on, I was like, I hope these two wrestle like they're pissed off about it and want to prove it, and they did. Because I also said this, as much as I dislike the booking and the character of Charlotte over the years, she is one of the best to ever do it, and she showed it again. Why? Like, she's just damn good at it, and I wish they would have booked certain things differently about her in the past, but she never disappoints at a WrestleMania and stuff like that.
For
Never.
sure, never does. And She was all smiles after the match. I think she was just enjoying the crowd reaction, really getting her moment. Um, you know, if while the camera was on her, it's like you just can't help but display how happy you were how that went. So
She
Yeah,
she does, but at the beginning of it, she always does this thing when someone gets one over on her,
mhm.
and I've seen a lot of people kind of joke about it, where she like wipes her mouth like, "Ah, good one, you got me, kid,"
Yeah,
and that she kind of had that face at first, but then as it lingered on her, you saw her like genuine smile. I think someone posted the way Sasha looked after her match with Bianca Belair a couple of WrestleManias ago.
yeah.
It was a similar, but at first she kind of had that like, you got me after she lost, but yeah, no,
Mhm,
it was good, and it was, and like you said, another passing of the torch almost
mhm.
um, to the
yeah,
next champion.
you can tell she genuinely loves putting people over, and
Mhm.
she's just the absolute best. And I love watching her matches. I love watching her matches, especially when she loses, because she just takes it to another level. And she did everything you expected to. And there's so many great little moments that aren't even like maneuvers or anything like that. The There's this one camera shot of after Rhea slams her into the top of the turnbuckle, and Charlotte's just lying there, and Rhea's just laying on the edge of the mat, staring up at Charlotte with this like happy look on her face, and she
Mhm.
just
Right towards
held
the
it.
end.
She just
Yeah.
held it. And it's like that's such a great moment. She's just doing an incredible job at everything that she's doing. It's just those little details like that. You're not just going through the motions. You're not just, you know, going by anything else, just selling everything, taking it every opportunity you can, and just milking the hell out of it. And so, another highly entertaining match, fantastic ending.
Yeah.
For sure. And this, kind of takes care of this Judgment Day storyline. Edge and right, yeah, rules of Judgment Day. But man, the Edge and Demon Balor tomorrow night, Hell in a Cell. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Seeing what all the bummer we're gonna get. Uh, and I'm honestly this LWO Judgment Day thing. I'm really looking forward to see how much more this is.
Yeah.
Is this it though between Ray and Dominic? What other kind of matches you think we're gonna see, and how does this build to?
I saw someone post about that they could eventually go down the line to Mask versus Hair,
Hmm.
Ray versus Dom. In the if they're going to celebrate their lucha heritage,
Hmm.
and LWO is doing that. I mean, what's more in lucha than either Mask versus Mask, or since Dom doesn't normally wear one, the Hair versus Mask match.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that would be something. And then, I guess it depends on how far down the road. Maybe that's SummerSlam or whatever, and maybe that's where Ray relinquishes the mask and Dom kind of,
Hmm.
I don't know, but I don't think it's over by any means. So
Anyone else out there want to see like a strap match or a bull rope match, something like that? Just
Chunkla match,
chocolate. Hey, dude, chocolate on a
Chunkla on a
pole
pole.
match. Fuck yeah, just do it.
Not now that the
Uh,
group now that the groups are all like included, I
yeah.
suppose they can, milk this for as long as it can. But I
Hmm.
don't see Ray having a whole lot left. I mean, he did great in this match, but you can see how a lot slower he is, and at
Yeah, not so
times
much on
not.
not so much on a full time, but I mean, if there's something they can get involved with, like if they add to the LWO, and they really build this out through the whole year, you could set up a good storyline LWO versus Judgment Day into War Games, but that's not till November, so that's
Yeah,
something you really got to build to. Um, we get an appearance by Pat McAfee. Love listening to Corey Graves just insult him the whole time, but by the way, Snoop is great, and
Amazing.
yeah, Snoop is great, amazing. I also forgot to mention, Bad Bunny is great too, and he
yeah.
did his work well with that Ray Dominic match. The kids have been listening to a lot of Bad Bunny, so they were excited to see him there ringside and get involved with it as well. But Pat McAfee stays undefeated at WrestleMania. Snoop is hilarious. Like, hey man, this is you. You're the wrestler, man. I'm just a rapper. It was.
Wait, he's not undefeated at WrestleMania. He lost to Vince McMahon. Don't you remember?
No, but at least
Last year.
they kept talking like he was undefeated at WrestleMania. So I don't know.
Well, isn't that what happened last year? After did he beat Theory right last year?
I believe
And
so.
then
Yeah.
Vince came out and like clotheslined him or something. Am I misremembering this?
I don't know. So I tend to
Because
block out
then
Vince McMahon
Austin
shit.
came out. Well, I tried to too, but
Yeah.
because I think we're sitting there going, did he really just lose to Vince McMahon? And then I think that's when Austin came out, or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Corey Graves. I mean, how long before we finally get to see Corey Graves or Pat McAfee? Are we going to get that at some
Well,
point?
that's the thing, because I've heard he's actually been cleared for a while now, and they're just not ready to put him in the ring. But I was legitimately thinking he was going to interfere and attack Pat, because they played it up at the Rumble when he came back. They're playing it up tonight. Yeah, so like I feel like you're going to get Corey Graves, Pat McAfee. Again, you would think at a big show, so maybe at a Survivor, at a SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Yeah, Tommy. So I was right about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like that's where they're headed, and especially with like Cole being so clearly on McAfee's side, the way they're playing it up. So I think they will eventually.
The only potential hang-up for Survivor Series is that it is football season, and McAfee has his commitments to ESPN College Game Day. However that works out. Yeah, so maybe SummerSlam might be the better option there too. So, now the main event, the Bloodline storyline. It has been one of the best storylines over the last like pretty much almost all year, and Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and the Usos. Kevin Owens actually at the presser. I got an alert here. He said, "quote regarding I guess they asked him about Mark and Jay Briscoe. I really hope we made them proud tonight." Of course, Kevin Owens had a long time career in Ring of Honor, knows the Briscoes very, very well, and really took it to heart when Jay passed. And there was a bit. Well, that's Kevin Steen El Generico. So
yeah, those are the guys that inspired him, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But shout out Michael Cole acknowledging El Generico. I think this is the first time we've ever heard El Generico spoken on WWE television tonight. And Corey Graves really kind of playing up that as well. So, but this was amazing. I was very, very surprised, though, that they went so far as to have them kick out of the one and done finisher, which is unheard of at this point. I mean, no one ever kicked out of the 3D, to my knowledge. Which is very much inspired the Usos tag team finisher as well. So that was probably the most surprising thing of this match for me.
Well, they did, and then in return they led I don't remember which Uso it was, but one of them kicked out of Kevin Owens' stunner, and I think they kicked out of the first Taluva kick as well before that ending sequence. So we used to talk about this years ago when it was a more rare thing that WrestleMania was the only time you could kick out of finishers. That's something that's kind of become more commonplace in regular shows at times, depending on the match. But I kind of like the use of it here.
Yeah.
Because, you're right. You see that 1D hit, and you're like, oh, how are they going to get out of this? And they just straight kicked out of it. You didn't expect that. So.
Yeah, I was waiting for Owens to interfere and stop the count.
Can we also acknowledge, though, in the manner that they kicked out? Like, there was one time where Sammy stood all the way up.
I think it was that 1D, yeah.
And then the camera kicked. The camera didn't stay on him.
No, because they have to go to the stupid fan reaction shot. They cannot stay on the action in the ring. By the way, Tommy, don't you have that DVD? Can't you share it with us?
Probably does.
But yes, no, they are so determined after every pinfall attempt to go to a fan reaction. They can't stay on anything in the ring. And I don't care what Joe Schmo in the seventh row goes, oh,
picture in picture. Man. Just do a picture in picture.
Right. Like we see that guy in the front row every damn show on TV. We can see his reaction. We don't need a close up of his reaction.
I think it was what's his name, Ellis or whatever, the Undertaker reaction guy. The street guy. I think that's the one that made him go, oh, we need to do this every time.
I guess. you're never gonna get a reaction like that ever again, for sure. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we knew it. We knew
I
it,
mean,
Tommy.
yeah. um, yeah, but yeah, just that, and he like just kind of stood up and then fell back over on the ropes. The only way that Sami
Yeah.
Zayn does.
Fell over on the ropes, but then he started, mimicking like he was convulsing, like he
Yeah.
Oh,
was
that's yeah.
a man possessed. It was just
Mhm.
Yeah.
all of it, the little details, just like the Rhea thing. Little details, fantastic.
Mhm.
The
And the
storytelling,
finishing sequence. Yeah.
amazing, poetic. That Zayn has to be the one getting the pin. It makes the most sense
Yeah.
to end that reign. And yeah, you're not just gonna end a 600 however many day reign it is, plus day reign for them to be a tag team champions just with the throwaway match. Like they earned it, and it was just remarkable. And I said the crowd was really into. I thought Ray and Dominic, they were really into that. They were invested in this one. I mean, and it wasn't just the Latinos in the crowd like the Ray and Dominic one. It was everybody, because this storyline has been built up for so long, so well done, and amazing to me that this is the first time. Well, obviously we know the Owens and Zayn history, but for them to be basically the first time them teaming up and winning a tag team championship on the biggest stage, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I really really hope they get a chance to take it back to their home country, take it back to Montreal, and just have a celebration there, somewhere, maybe in the Bell Center or something, and just get reaction of that. That would be pretty
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
That would be ideal. Still, like, definitely the reason why it was a main event, because of the build up. This was the payoff for years of us watching Roman Reigns and the Usos just walk all over people for years, and then to finish it with three hell of a kicks in the way that he did, selling every soaking up every second, the pauses in between, just all of it is just captivating.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing.
Sure.
JC, real quick, have you seen this Adam Cole tweet?
No, what do you say?
Hey, at Pat McAfee show, please don't ever forget double middle fingers. So,
You gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, yeah.
no, Steady's right. Like that finishing sequence, the holding him up before the last one is Jay was basically, dead on his feet, and he was just like falling into Sammy. He just kind of held him there, looking at him.
Mhm.
It was almost. I mean, not quite, but it was almost like "I love you, but I got to do this,"
Mhm.
and then hit that third one, and y'all are both right. Like Sammy was the one to do it. KO knew that. It was a perfect ending.
Well, that's night one. Those are our first thoughts, and like I said, we'll have a full recap. Tomorrow, of course, is night two of WrestleMania. I'll go ahead and put the graphic up here again for everybody. Night two, 7 p.m. Central Time on Peacock. If they follow the same pattern, the pre-show will start at 5 p.m. Central Time. Night two of WrestleMania. On tap for that, of course, is Brock Lesnar versus Osmosis. Okay, yeah.
I mean, just stop right there. That's stealing the show. That is,
yeah, right.
I mean, that could be a one match WrestleMania card.
Women's WrestleMania Showcase. We have the Hell in a Cell match between Edge and Demon Finn Balor. The IC Championship. Gunther defends against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. And Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair defending against Asuka, who, by the way, was fangirling out when the Great Muta did his mist at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was amazing. And, of course, WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns defends against Cody Rhodes. Again, another one just crossed the finish line. Just crossed the finish line. Let's hope.
Before we end, this is breaking news, and I'm not going to play the video because I don't want WWE to take down the stream. But KSI, who was a big part of that match we had talked about earlier between Rollins and I forget the other guy's name, but KSI is now calling out Bobby Lashley after the pay-per-view event today.
First of all, Lashley has been tweeting, why is the Almighty not booked on either night of WrestleMania?
Right.
So this very well could happen tomorrow night, and why not?
But why KSI? Like, Why do you choose death for your first match? That seems dumb.
Let's maybe we expect to see that. Yeah, Lashley's been tweeting really for the last few days, like, why is the Almighty not on either night of WrestleMania? How do you have WrestleMania without the Almighty Bobby Lashley? So, makes sense. Sure, Shit might steal the show from Lesnar and Osmosis for all we know. So
YouTubers are invading WrestleMania.
It's always for the big night, So, but we'll see what Bad Bunny does with Backlash when that heads to Puerto Rico, his home country too. So, all right, thank you everyone for joining us for this our first thoughts session on night 1 of WrestleMania. Tomorrow, maybe, depending how tired we are, we may do another first thoughts.
Yeah, let's see what time Sunday WrestleMania ends.
Some of us got to work on Monday.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, if not, stay tuned this week. Our usual Thursday evening time slot, we will have our full recap of NXT Stand and Deliver and both nights of WWE WrestleMania 39. So, Rich, by the way, Stephen A. Smith was on the pre-show today. I know. Might see him involved in WrestleMania next year. He kind of teased that because it is going to be in Philly, which I believe is his hometown. So,
as long as he gets beat up, I'm fine. Cause
I really hope Pat McAfee whoops his ass. Yeah, I know. So
as long as he keeps the Spurs name out of his mouth, I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Papa retire and then go whoop his ass. I don't know. We'll see. So that'd be great.
I'll take the rookie Sohan to take him out.
For sure.
That dude's scrappy.
All right, let me get the music here going. Put my phone thing here. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I can barely put my phone password in. So, all right, thanks everyone for joining us. Over here, we got Steady.
Later, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People
are
fake.
Enjoy night 2 WrestleMania. We'll see you next time.
Boom. Adios, Gunther.